Narito ang programang totoong-totoo, Tambayan sa DWIZ. Programang magliliwanag ng ilang mahahalagang mga issue. Tambayan sa DWIZ. At ngayon, narito na sila upang maghatid ng saya sa bawat Pilipino. Sa programang Tambayan sa DWIZ.
Magandang tanghali. Welcome to Tambayan. Ako po si Trixie Cruz Angeles. Hopefully we'll be joined by Attorney Ahmed Paglinawan. Okay, we're not sure. But if he does, he will be joining us by Zoom. TWIZ text line 0999-376-6768. Ulitin po natin, 0999-376-6768. We're also on Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming. Huwag pong kakalimutan, like and share. Sa Facebook po, we're under the account of Kimberly Montano. Hanapin niyo lang po kasi may issue na naman ng Facebook doon sa DWIZ page natin. But it's so much easier. You can still subscribe to our YouTube channel. Andyan kami, live kami dyan. We're also on Luminous by Trixie Cruz Angeles and Ahmed Paglinawan. Ulitin ko po, Luminous, Luminous. Hanapin niyo lang po by Trixie Cruz Angeles and Ahmed Paglinawan sa Facebook namin. Huwag pa kakalimutan mag-follow. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, same name. TWIZ also has a website, twiz882am.com, and you can download our app para pwede nyo pong pakinggan kami by audio on your app, on your cell phone or laptop. Magandang tanghali. So yesterday, first dismissal of the cancellation of certificate of candidacy of BBM, and people have settled into the idea. But let's just deal with yung mga frequently asked questions. Wala pa po yung decision in the first division. Yung first division po yung kay Com Rowena Guanzon. And dito sa second division, it was Commissioner Inting who penned the decision. We'll deal with the decision later on. Pero number one, do not mistake the two, one for each other. One is a cancellation of certificate of candidacy, yung isa is a disqualification case. Normally, those are two different, entirely different cases, and usually you cannot use the same grounds as in one and then the same grounds in another. In other words, yung mga paulit-ulit nagtatanong sa amin, so how does this affect the case na yung nasa first division? Paano ba daw, di ibig sabihin yan, pareho sila ng decision? No. Kasi sinabi nga dun sa decision, dun sa second division, itong petition ni Attorney si Attorney Te yung abogado. Ang client dyan, ang petitioner, sina Father Buenafe. Now, dun sa petition ni Father Buenafe, cancellation yan. Pag cancellation, usually, sinasabi nila, on the face of the petition, kung bakit halata naman dapat dapat kansilahin na yan. Kasi nakikita dun mismo sa certificate of candidacy o dun sa petition, meron silang nasa site na batas or facts na hindi mo na kailangan patunayan. Dun pa lang, tignan nyo to, nag-lie siya. Dapat ganun ka-obvious. Disqualification is something else. You can go into the law itself. But that's why one will not affect the other. Yung decision po sa second division, sinasabi nila, actually, petition for disqualification ito Pero, using arguments, pinagmumukha ninyong cancellation of certificate of candidacy. Ito po yung unang kaso na inihain. And so, relevant po yan kung bakit cancellation yung ginawa nila. Kasi ayaw nilang masubstitute si BBM. Kaya cancellation of candidacy, kasi pag hindi ka, it's as though you were never a candidate to begin with. Kung hindi ka kandidato, hindi ka pwedeng i-substitute. Kaya yung mga nagsasabi, pareho lang naman yung grounds, de kung ano yung decision sa isa, decision din dun sa isa. No, there are two different cases and the divisions do not have to follow each other. Meron pang ang en banc So, wag po ninyo ipagkakalat yung mali na impression na ganun yung sagot ganun yung decision sa second division, magiging pareho dun sa decision ng first division. Magandang tanghali po dun sa mga nakatambay sa atin sa Facebook page natin. Alvibal, Nonoy Teotico Espinar, Evangeline Camilosa, Sebi Zabala, Ma'am Jasmine Orosa, Osilia Batung Arcaina, Arkitin, Paterno Ruluna, Marietta Quizon, Arcila Satin, Day Nori Silyasa, hindi ko makita halos, puti yung background. Paterno Roluna, Risa Abella, Ensung Ku. Magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat. Mga nasa YouTube, magandang tanghali po. Sino-sino ba mga to? LMX, Francis Cayetano, Sheila Abahero, Joanna Da Anton, Ma'am Pinay Paparazzi, magandang tanghali ma'am. Maria Cecilia Chongson, Santi, Vani Nino, Babadi, Domingo Gasmin, Alfonso Magpayo, and si Chev. Ma'am Ofelia Lutrania, magandang tanghali, and Roberto Beltran. Magandang tanghali po. So, next, when will the first division come out with their resolution? Di natin sure. Kasi ang sinabi lang po ni Com Guanzon is yung dahilan it's exposed yung staff niya to to COVID, allegedly. Ngayon, maraming nagtatanong, wait, is that a reason para suspendin yung promulgation? Well, it depends. Kung nire-require ng COMELEC na in-person yung promulgation, babasahan yung parties in person, then yeah, it's a reason to not push through with it. However, meron ng, what do you call this, practice na pwede online. So if they really wanted to read out the resolution in person, well, they could substitute that by reading it out loud online. Kasi naghihiring na nga po online eh. So, like I said, medyo it's unusual kung bakit hindi po itinuloy yung pagbasa ng resolution sa First Division. Take note, hindi po nila sinasabi na wala pa yung resolution. They're saying is, meron na, hindi lang namin mai-promulgate ngayon dahil nga na-expose yung staff. Para sa akin, this kind of reasoning means na sandali lang yan. Siguro we should be expecting it within the day or within the next few days. Kasi mahalaga na makapag-umpisa na po yung printing ng mga balota para kailangan malaman kung included si BBM dun sa pagprint ng balota. Although, hindi ako worried too much about this case kasi nga medyo manipis sa totoo lang. But that's a personal opinion. Okay? In the meantime, maraming nagtatanong doon sa kung subject to disciplinary action yung mga lawyers for the petitioner na nagsulat doon sa kanilang petition at nag-cite ng batas na hindi accurate yung citation na yon. And as a matter of fact, ang sinasabi doon sa resolution ng COMELEC ay deliberately misleading. Kino-quote nila yung batas. Ngayon, when you quote the law, dapat precise yung pag-quote na yon. But in this case, they quoted later law. Hi, Attorney Glenn! Yay! Oh, I need to hear you on this one. Did you read the COMELEC resolution?
Hindi pa. Which one?
Yung dismissal ng second division.
Hindi pa.
Ay, padala ko sa'yo mamaya.
Thank you.
Deliberately misleading. Sinabi ng COMELEC tungkol doon sa petition.
Which petition is this one?
Petition for cancellation of certificate of candidacy.
Okay. Ito yung kay Chodorte.
Yes,
okay.
Attorney Te. The COMELEC said na in two instances, one, they misquoted the law. Remember, NIRC ang pinagtatalunan dito. Kino-quote nila the 1998 amendment, pero claimed
may
that
NIRC
it was
1998.
Yes, but they claimed that it's the 1977 provision.
I think it's not.
It's not. It's in the resolution.
If I remember, hindi siya.
Ang pinagdidiskitahan na word lang dito, and.
Okay.
Sabi ni na petitioner, fine and imprisonment. Okay. Sabi ni COMELEC, wait, Yung fine and imprisonment, 1998 yan. Yung sinasabi ninyo na 1977, fine or imprisonment.
Yes, okay.
So,
But I suppose the Court of Appeals would not have removed the imprisonment if it was a conjunctive and.
correct.
Yes.
Diba?
Oo. Hindi tatanggalin yun ng Court of Appeals kung conjunctive and ang nakalagay sa batas.
As if
The fact na tinanggal nila, ibig sabihin, or yan, in the law.
And in fact, kung nagkamali yung hukuman na yun, let's just say typo, dun
Okay.
sa Court of Appeals, the respondent here, or the accused, in this case, BBM's lawyers would have said, wait! Doon pa lang mag-petition for clarification,
Yes,
motion for clarification of judgment.
Assuming nagkamali ang Court of Appeals.
Assuming. But we know that, unang-una, even if mali sila, too late na. And they didn't make a mistake. Kumbaga, final na yung decision na yan.
So, the petitioners were deliberately misleading
That's what the comment
the
said.
Commission on Elections.
So,
Deliberate because
Deliberate.
they would have known it. Alam nila yun.
second, they keep referring to the failure to file income tax return as tax evasion.
Hindi mali talaga yun.
Yeah.
That's more deliberate misleading. Hindi talaga yun.
And who are they misleading here? Certainly not the COMELEC which would have caught it, but also the public.
It's more of the public actually
the
because
public,
pag alam nila na pagdating sa Commission on Elections, bubusisiin yan eh. And with the opposing counsel, yung mga abogado ni BBM, mabubulat-lat yan doon.
Correct.
But it's more of propaganda eh.
And I think that this is deliberate on their part. Kasi,
Yes, I believe.
hindi rin sila, the lawyers confined it to their pleadings. Pero lumalabas sa social media. Pansin mo, yung mga trolls ng parlor nila, puro,
Pinopost nila yung nila, di ba?
Yan.
The whole pleading, they
Oo.
posted it on social media.
It's on script.
Yeah.
yung memorandum.
Because the motive there is sinister. Ang purpose talaga nila is ipahiya nila si BBM and in front of the public gusto nilang sirain. They don't mind kung they are actually deliberately misleading the Commission on Elections.
And wasting the time of the commission.
Yes.
So, yun ang
And throwing a serious question on the hindi lang, pati yung preparation ng election actually na nawiwindang, di ba? Nawiwindang because they could have printed the ballots earlier kung walang questions.
Napostpone na naman because of first division.
Because the pending pa yung pending pa yung disqualification. So hindi pa nila hindi pa nila because they said they will start. Di ba they said they will start printing the ballots kahapon. Kahapon dapat.
Paano lang gagawin? Walang decision yung first.
They should print the name of BBM there.
Exactly,
That's my
because that's the
expectation.
presumption.
Because at that time, as of yesterday, January 17, walang decision.
Which means
he is a qualified candidate as of yesterday, January 17. Dapat nagprinta na ang COMELEC ng balota with the name of BBM.
Because the presumption is that he's correct, it is regular, it is the burden of the petitioners to prove otherwise.
Yes. Correct. In every sense.
Diba?
I agree.
And for me, it is, it is malice for them to assert, first yung misquoting of the law. Kung tayong mga mortal.
That's unethical.
Kung tayo mga mortal yan, we behold before the Supreme Court, answer why we shouldn't disbar you for doing this.
Show cause na naman tayo.
Explaining na naman tayo.
Kung bakit hindi tayo isususpend or hindi tayo i-disbar. And to think that the lawyer of the petitioners is the former spokesperson of the Supreme Court.
Well, spokesperson of the alleged occupant of the position of Chief Justice of the we have to be precise.
Yes.
Diba? Kasi the decision says that she never was.
But nevertheless, he was a part and parcel of the Supreme Court at that time.
But yes.
And since the Supreme Court holds every lawyer to a high degree of standards.
Or they should. They should be doing it for every single one of them.
Yes.
I'm still upset over the slap on the wrist kay Chel Jokno in the writ of kalikasan ba yun? Yung case, yung fishermen of the in the West Philippine Sea case. Slap on the wrist yun. Wala kang kliyente, umarap ka sa Supreme Court, nag-argue ka pa.
Oo.
You get a monumental waste of the time of the court.
Of the court, yeah.
The highest court in the land, which rarely allows oral argument. Nagbigay pa sila ng oral argument, so wala ka palang kliyente.
Oo. It's very rare for the court to grant oral arguments kasi di ba it's loaded with so much caseload. Ang dami nilang i-review na mga kaso, and then you will waste the time of the court, the precious time of the court.
Tapos wala ka palang kliyente. Talaga. Or for a lawyer of your caliber to not check kumbaga, he didn't meet with the clients. Yun. To admit to the court that you had never even seen these people and claimed them to be your clients.
Your clients.
So where is your engagement agreement?
Nasaan yung lawyer-client relationship mo dyan?
Where is all of this? Diba? Yan. So I'm upset that it was merely an admonition sa kanya.
I suppose at least the COMELEC should also admonish the Council of Petitioners in this case, because hindi nang wasting the time of the commission but also actually throwing a monkey wrench on the preparation of the elections, kasi nga hindi pa sila nakapag-print ng ballots.
Tapos yung pala, even in the resolution of the COMELEC, they say that it should have been summarily dismissed because they were asking the COMELEC to interpret the Court of Appeals decision.
That's beyond the jurisdiction of the commission.
Lack of jurisdiction.
Lack of jurisdiction yan. Dapat summarily dismissed nga. For lack of jurisdiction. Pero yeah, I think that's what BBM has been saying also.
Yeah,
walang jurisdiction ng COMELEC because you're actually asking an interpretation of the decision of the Court of Appeals.
Kasi, paano mo, papakancel mo? Ang sinasabi mo, nag-lie. Diba? Now, a lie should be self-evident. Paano magiging self-evident? Wala nga on the face of the CA decision. And in fact, meron pa nga misleading statements about what the law is. Napakaseryoso nun. I cannot overemphasize how serious that is when you lie about the law. It's so easily checked. It's kind of stupid. But yung you lie so that this person, this amounts to depriving the people of a choice. Ito na yun.
Kaya nga sabi ni Tony Lavinia, that's a political question. Di ba? That was his thesis. His thesis na this is a political question that is best decided by the people in a political exercise. But going that direction, it's ultimately the people who will decide.
Yes.
Or not only depriving BBM of his right to run for public office when he is actually qualified under the Constitution. You are also depriving the people of a choice.
Plus, misleading not just the COMELEC but the people. By misleading the people, you're depriving them of a choice because you're keeping them uninformed.
Maliciously depriving the people.
And that's the word, I think, here that we should be using.
It's full of malice.
It's malice.
Aside from misquoting the law, they also laced their petition with nonsense. Yung mga...
Did you see the petition?
Oo nga. Yung mga...
So much paper wasted on damning.
I think it's 50
Ferdinand
plus
Senior.
Oo. 50 plus yata yung petition 50 pages plus yata yung petition.
Pero ilang pages devoted to Ferdinand Marcos
Senior
regime. Senior. Senior.
Which is absolutely irrelevant, immaterial, impertinent.
Correct. Ano yun? Just because they share DNA?
And they share the same name except the except the suffix.
Oh, di ba? That's the other thing. Why are they insistent on this line of logic or lack of logic? BBM should not be allowed to run because his father was a tyrant. Where is the logic in that?
I don't see the logic there.
Kaya nga, even if we admit everything they say about Ferdinand Sr.,
yes, the sins of the father is not necessarily the sins of the son.
Kaya kahit ako,
and even whichever court you go, you cannot establish guilt. On that basis, on that premise, na dahil may kasalanan ang tatay, i-impute mo sa anak.
Okay, here's
Assuming.
Here's a question. Tinatanong ng viewers natin. I think you can answer this. Can an ordinary person file a disciplinary case against the attorneys here of the petitioner?
I think so.
I agree.
Yeah, because there's deception of the public eh.
Yes.
Dinisib mo yung publiko eh. And then, the public here is a taxpayer, a voter, a registered voter. May interest siya doon eh. Because diniprive mo yung kanyang right to choose the candidate.
Exactly.
And then you use misleading deception actually.
It is deception. It is malice. Because as lawyers of note, these are not yung hampas lupa lawyers like us.
Yes.
Like me.
Like you and me. They are several levels notches above us.
Sige, the demigods of the profession.
Demigods.
Then we will hold you to higher standards. Imposibleng hindi nyo alam yung difference. When exactly what you were arguing was the difference.
The thing speaks for itself. We don't need further proof.
Both the court and the IBP are so quick to go after lawyers who are not of note.
Kahit nga si Larry Gadon, di ba? Sinuspend nila.
And even Larry Gadon. And I wanted to bring that up. The issue of Larry Gadon, juxtapose those two. No notice, no complaint.
Moto proprio sinuspend nila si Larry.
Preventively suspended.
Yes.
Something which does not exist in any...
his right to due process was denied.
In any disciplinary case.
By the highest court of the land.
So, parang... I'm shocked pa rin up to now about what happened to
I also don't
Larry.
agree with the preventive suspension, the way it was handed down on Larry.
Even if, and Attorney Larry contests this, whatever he did was notoriously anathema, notoriously bad for the profession. Kasi supposedly viral. Larry says hindi. Kasi apparently he had sent it in a private message to Raisa Robles. And according to Attorney Larry, she put it online.
Hindi kasalanan ni Larry yun.
So how do you gain notoriety if it is the alleged victim?
If it was a private communication to the victim and the victim posted it, it's the victim who should suffer the consequences.
She libeled herself.
She libeled herself. There's walang element of libel on the part of Larry Gadon.
Paano yan?
Siya lang sarili niya.
So, and remember that
because publication is an element in libel, essential element in libel.
So, now they're saying, and they're keeping it to an admin case, that he should be preventively suspended because of what he did. Wait! The allegations of the court have not been proven.
Yes.
So, you're punishing him. How can you preventively suspend a person
they
from
just
the
relied on what
law?
they saw in social media.
Yeah, and what they saw in social media was posted by the victim.
And it was the victim who publicized it, not the aggressor.
Another. If we're talking about the notoriety of what a lawyer has did, what about Laila de Lima?
Isa pa yun.
Well, these people are getting away. They're going after people like Larry Gadon.
Parang double standards.
Because the court has always reserved to have different standards for different lawyers. I just wanted to point that out.
It's sad.
Diba?
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. And this does not say anything about the personal, how do you call this, views or even the conduct of the justices. A lot of them are, they're good people. Very smart, very good at what they do. That's why it's so surprising they would react this way to Larry Gadon Pero deadma to Laila de Lima, deadma to virtually deadma kay Chel Jokno. And now, are we hearing anything about a deliberate deception foisted by petitioners in the COMELEC?
Chodorte, Attorney Te.
What are we supposed to think? What is the public supposed to think? That they're soft on certain people and then...
yun nga, they're demigods.
Yun na nga eh.
Kasi immortal yung nasa Supreme Court. The gods of justice.
The gods of Padre Faura, di ba?
And then, the gods of Padre Faura. Tapos the demigods. Then tayo yung mga hamak na mga mortal na abogado.
Do you remember who coined that phrase, the gods of Padre Faura? I know who popularized it. I'm not sure who invented it.
I also don't know. But I heard it.
It's Estelito Mendoza. Titong Mendoza.
Si Titong pala.
Kasi, during that time, there was a clash between the Solicitor General and the DOJ Secretary.
He was the Solicitor General.
He was the Solgen. And nakikigamit yung Solgen dun sa building ng DOJ.
Nasa Padre Faura.
Doon pa sila sa Padre Faura. So, ang sabi ni Secretary of Justice, this is my house. Max! Parang
Tapos, so na-kick out siya?
Well, he couldn't go to the gods of Padre Faura because you settle it among yourselves. You're in the executive. Tama naman yung decision.
Tama, yes.
So, what Solgen Mendoza did was bumili ng building sa Makati and move the Solicitor General.
Kaya nandun na sila sa Makati ngayon.
That's why they're still in Makati to this day. But he was the one who popularized it. He went to the gods of Padre Faura and did not receive anything.
Nagsumbong siya doon.
Yes. But Titong Mendoza is solely to be credited for the strength of the Solicitor General. Kasi dati, di yan pinapansin. Yung office, hindi sila nagiging...
nakikitira nga lang sila doon sa DOJ. At least, nung iipat niya, they assume greater credibility.
Sabihan mong Titong Mendoza na, this is my house. Patay ka. Okay, I'll get my own house. Ayan. Ngayon, was it the Solgen, yan yung superstar ngayon. The DOJ Secretary is relegated.
May na siya. May kompetensya na siya. Kasi dati siya lang eh.
And now, it is the Solgen who more often than not will argue orally before the Supreme Court to defend the Republic.
Position of the Republic.
So, masaya din yung mga chikahan na ganyan.
I learned something from you today.
History lesson. Magbabalikan Tambayan. Oras natin, 12:31 ng tanghali.
Muli nating balikan Tambayan sa DWIZ.
Magbabalikan Tambayan kasama sa impilan, Attorney Glenn Chong.
Magandang tanghali po.
Ako po si Trixie Cruz Angeles. So, hacking.
Doon na tayo sa hacking.
Saya-saya ng hacking.
Di ba napabalita? That was last week.
Di ba?
Last week yun, di ba?
By the way, we should use the term alleged hacking.
Okay,
kasi
sige.
as of yesterday, sinabi na ng NBI, no evidence of hacking.
Meron akong komento dyan. Although I respect the National Bureau of Investigation.
Although incomplete yun, yung report pa nila. That's only...
preliminary lang yata yun.
It only pertains to location. In other words, sa loob ng COMELEC, walang evidence of that. They're not saying na walang evidence outside of the COMELEC, which is most likely what...
Actually, if I remember, I read yung sa news report lang naman, ang sabi ni Director Eric Distor, pumunta sila sa Santa Rosa, Laguna. At tiningnan nila yung servers doon, wala daw evidence of hacking. And then yun nga ang sabi ng COMELEC, these are standalone units which are connected sa internet. But ang question ko is this, if you read the report before, yung kina-art sa Maniego ng Manila Bulletin Tech News Team, among the items na in sinabi nila, kasi nakalagay doon usernames and passwords of the personal identification numbers of the vote counting machines. Network diagram, if I remember. And then, sa bandang huli, meron doong overseas absentee voters.
Yes.
List of overseas, details, personal sensitive information.
So, mas worrisome pala yan. Kasi I was looking before at the usernames and pins. Pero, Sinagot ng COMELEC yun. Wala pa yan eh. And if they're encoding it, they encode it offline. So I agree. I talk to the people inside.
Yes.
And okay. Hindi ko napansin yan yung sa OFWs.
Merong over OAV voters.
Yes.
Sensitive personal information. Kasama doon sa listahan sa bandang dulo. So kasi iniisa-isa ko yun nilista ko yun. Now, I find it unbelievable na yung OEV, yung data ng ating mga overseas Filipino workers, OFWs natin sa ibang bansa, would be found in Santa Rosa. It should be in the COMELEC headquarters.
What's in Santa Rosa? The machines?
The machines. Kasi kung matatandaan ninyo, itong Santa Rosa warehouse, it's a bus depot. It's a bus depot ng... it's a bus depot that was leased out to COMELEC.
Converted.
Converted into a yung parang pabrika nila doon where they configure the machines, where they stockpile all the nakapunta ko doon ilang beses din naka-stockpile yung mga makina, tapos yung boxes, yung galing sa China na mga ballot boxes, may mga sira-sira doon, tinapo na lang nila sa isang gilid. Oo. And remember, that's 3,000 plus pesos each.
Yeah.
So, as if wala silang pakialam sa pera ng sambayanan. Now, kung may server doon, this would be the configuration servers. Ito yung election management system. Dito kasi nagpo-produce sa Santa Rosa, Laguna ng yung laman ng CF card. Yung laman ng CF card. So, doon yon nila i-configure, ipapasok sa SD card for distribution on election day. Doon sila nagte-testing, yung pre-lot test and everything else. So, walang kinalaman doon ng overseas absentee voters. Yung database ng mga OAV voters. OAV kasi ang ano niyan sa ating mga OFW. So, OAV. It should have been found in the server in the COMELEC headquarters sa Intramuros. So in other words, kaya nga sabi ko, parang even the NBI was misled. Doon nila dinala ang NBI sa warehouse sa Laguna because they know stand-alone ang mga servers doon. Why, ang suggestion ko, the NBI, go to the COMELEC headquarters, yung mga servers doon, ang busisiin ninyo.
They should.
They should go there kasi.
Because,
But why, okay.
They should.
Yeah, they should. But walang sinabi
Nagtawag tayo kami.
Ang sinabi lang nila, pumunta sila sa Santa Rosa warehouse, in-inspect nila, walang signs of hacking because these are standalone units. Of course, we agree. Those are standalone units. So, bakit mo ipapakita yung standalone units? Purposely for that.
Nothing stops the NBI from going to the
nobody stops them from going there. So they should go there. Si Director Eric Distor, I would suggest you go to the COMELEC headquarters in Intramuros and check all the service there.
Malay nyo, nakikinig. Or at least merong makikinig sa atin.
So kasi it's misleading also na
parang nag-assure na kayo na
nag-assure na kayo sa public na walang hacking, but you've only checked one area.
The public will be assured only if the investigation is complete.
Yes. At yun nga, Attorney Trixie, ang suggestion ko, given kasi dati ng, yung sa kay Paul Betting, yung hacking in 2016, remember, it happened on March 27, 2016, 6 weeks before the elections.
Ngayon, maaga yata sila.
Ito, 5 months before the elections. But it's on the same election year.
Yes.
Kasi March 27, 2016, na-hack yung servers ng COMELEC. Nalaman yun because the personal sensitive information ng mga voters was uploaded in a file sharing site.
Yep. It's still there.
Kasi kaya na-booking talaga sila ng gusto. So, nag-investigate si NBI. Si Paul Betting ang nakuha nila. But, according to Maharlika, nag-research siya, na-acquitted si Paul Betting. Na ang kaso. So in other words, he was just a fall guy. Somebody else did it and you prosecuted the wrong person. So, because the case was dismissed by the RTC. So, from that experience, ang suggestion ko is that if you're going to investigate, might as well not include only the NBI, but also the anti-cybercrime ng PNP, although these are also bungling cops. it's better na, I don't mince words pagdating sa PNP. Sorry, itong anti-cybercrime ng PNP, those are composed of bungling cops. Aabot pa tayo dyan, hindi pa ako tapos sa inyo. No. Tapos, ilagay po rin yung National Privacy Commission.
Ay, nakikidrama sila, ha?
Si National Privacy Commission, si DOST.
Nagsamon ng COMELEC.
Yes.
Sinamon nila independent constitutional body. Alam naman nila pwede silang i-ignore ng mga yun.
Oo nga, pero speaking of independent constitutional body, meron akong piece of dyan. Now, it would be better if it's a composite team of the NBI, the bungling PNP,
Wouldn't it be better?
The DOST.
Kasi si Attorney Vic Rodriguez, ang panawagan niya is the Joint
Congressional Oversight Committee.
Oversight and the Steering Committee in COMELEC. So given tapos sila yung mag-direct dun sa law enforcement whoever they're going to use.
It's better. Well, I agree. The Joint Congressional Oversight Committee that's headed in part by Senator Amy Marcos, and I think the other one is si PD Barsaga. Kasi Senate yan and House contingent. Kasi joint congressional. Congress is actually made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives. So meron siyang chairman sa Senate, Senator Amy Marcos, and then si Congressman PD Barsaga from sa House contingent. So kung sila ang mag-hearing, nandun si COMELEC Steering Committee. Parang fiesta, may steering committee. Fiesta naman talaga sa kanila yung eleksyon kasi 'di ba, commission o eleksyon. Tapos, the other side, ito na yung composite team that I'm proposing na si NBI, si bungling PNP, even is bungling, and then si DOST, si NPC, and DOJ. Kasi meron ding anti-cybercrime, ang DOJ
DICT, di ba?
DICT, DOST, DICT, whatever.
So, DICT meron, yung si Mangkaw.
Ang point ko kasi is it's difficult to corrupt all these different agencies than singular lang. If it's a singular entity na mag-iimbestiga, madaling i-corrupt. Madaling i-co-opt. And speaking of experience, hindi nagdadalawang isip ang COMELEC na i-co-opt ka. Aayusin ka. Because they offered it to me before. Doon pa sa loob ng Senado. Didn't I? No. Nag-hearing kami noon. I remember it was August 14, 2014. August 14, 2014. Nag-hearing kami. Ako yung nagbulgar doon na binuksan yung balota sa Nueva Ecija, yung kay Brother Eddie Villanueva. Na the RTC ruled na mali yung boto na na-reflect sa election return. So, ang sabi ni Coco Pimentel, Senator Pimentel, dalhin yung balota rito. Yung ballot boxes, 3, dalhin dyan sa Senado. During the break, lumapit sa akin si George Quintanar. And George Quintanar is a member of the COMELEC Advisory Council. Doon sa VIP box, di ba may VIP box sa harap ng Senate Session Hall?
Yes.
Yung Senate President sa harap, right across it, behind in front of the yung mga
peanut gallery.
Yeah. O yung maliit na gallery kasi may gallery on both sides So maliit yan, yung mga VIPs doon. Doon ako tumambay kasi may mga kilala ako doon. Although resource speaker ako doon. During the break, lumapit siya sa akin at sinabi niya, alam mo, Congressman, mabuting kaibigan si Boy Brillantes. Ito yung chairman dati, yung nakita kong kalaban. Huwag mo nang ipahiya sa publiko. Gusto mo, mag-set ako ng meeting sa inyo, pag-usapan nyo, para wala ka ng problema sa biliran. O you see, pag-usapan nyo, para wala ka ng problema sa biliran. And then, I'm former congressman of Biliran. So what do you mean by that? So, ang ibig mong sabihin, kausapin ko kayo, para pag eleksyon, ipapanalo nyo ako, wala na akong problema sa biliran. That's the context Because we were fighting about elections. So, ang sagot ko sa kanya, huy, walang presyo ang prinsipyo ko. Hindi ko pagbebenta yung bansa ko. I'll fight you till the end. Tapos pinuntahan ko sa harap, kasi wala si Brillantes, kasi gusto ko actually gumawa ng eksena sa loob ng Senado, kasi big time yun
Correct.
Offer yun Nakitsempo, wala si Brillantes lumabas. I don't know where he went. Baka pumunta ng CR, o pumunta ng office ng senador. So nakita ko, yung assistant niya, sa harap nandun sa committee secretariat. Pinuntahan ko, yung bata yun eh. Pinuntahan ko doon, pinagsisigawan ko siya. Sabi ko, hoy, sabihin mo dyan sa boy brillantes mo ha, sa chairman mo, huwag niyo akong konsabuhin. Hindi ako magpapakonsabo sa inyo. Oh, I had to say it because I'm only human.
Yes.
Pwede naman akong matukso. Remember, they could make me win. I would have no problem in biliran. Makipag-usap lang ako sa kanilang chairman. So, para to put a bar, an inhibition, binulgar ko sa harap ng Senate Secretariat para hindi na ako pwedeng makipag-usap sa kanila. It was my way of
to protect yourself.
To protect myself na hindi ako matukso.
Yes.
Because I'm only human. I'm also subject to the frailties of humanity. So, yun. Kaya sinabi ko, hindi magdadalawang isip ang COMELEC na arigluhin yung mag-iimbestiga sa kanila. Speaking from experience. So, that's why it's better na maraming agencies because it's difficult to co-opt any one of them, all of them.
Grabe pinagdaanan.
So, ito pang kabila.
So now,
yung kabilang parlor.
Ito na kabilang parlor.
Punta tayo doon sa kabilang parlor, yung sinabi mo. Ano nga ba yun, Attorney Tracy?
Kasi lately, yung mga hirit galing sa kabilang parlor, bakit daw pinamumukha natin na sila pa daw ay involved sa cheating? Pero napansin ko ang wika, argument.
Yeah.
Parang feigning shock yung mga, kami? Parang ganun lang yung dating sa akin.
Excuse me, ako hindi ko sila inakusahan, ha? Hindi ko sila inakusahan.
Wala nga akong sinasabi. Tapos
on my part, ha? On my part. Hindi ko.
Correct.
Parang defensive. Automatic silang defensive.
Baka kung sino lang narinig nila, react naman kaagad. Pero, di ba, let's look at this. Let's just be objective. According to the surveys, BBM is heading to become the first majority president.
Yes.
Like ever post-EDSA.
Consistent yan. Consistent yung resulta ng survey, above 50%. Sa Caloocan, 71%.
Yun na nga eh. Tarlac din.
70+%.
Tarlac yun ha.
Lugar yun ng
pugad ng dilaw.
Pugad ng mga mortal na kalaban ni BBM yun.
Correct.
Yet,
akalain mo.
He's got such a high rating.
Bakit? So, ngayon, ang inaano namin, what we've been discussing, and in fact, medyo small voice lang naman tayo, even karambola and all that. What we're saying is that, okay, a lot of people are questioning the credibility of the COMELEC and all that. There are two things we have to worry about. Number one, who benefits muna from this? Why would a person heading to become majority president want to cheat?
Want to cheat. It's not logical. It's not believable.
Especially
kung si BBM,
we're talking about an Ilocano here. Notorious for not wanting to spend more than he actually has.
I can attest to that.
Me too.
I can attest to that. So, bakit magbabayad si BBM when he's already heading towards victory? Bakit siya magbabayad? Bakit siya mandadaya? If he's actually malinaw yung suporta ng tao sa kanya, overwhelming majority.
Ito pa.
So he would not risk anything illegal para gawin yan. On the other hand,
in fact, of course it's significant whether or not, if a hacking has occurred. Pero the benefit to the other parlor is even if there is no hacking, they can get people, to lose confidence in that process and maybe get people to stay away. Diba? From the elections.
Yes, para mabawasan.
Mabawasan yung boto.
Any number of voters na hindi boboto, kung majority ang lamang ni BBM, malaki ang mawawala sa kanya.
Correct. Proportionally,
statistically,
diba?
Yes, proportionally. Statistically speaking.
Marami ring mawawala.
Yes. Any number of people, let's just say, 1,000 random people did not vote. If BBM stands at 60%, about 600 of his voters will not vote.
Now,
siya mawawalan.
Remember, yung extra rice na tinatawag natin doon. Extra rice is what Karambola refers to as the sudden increase in the number of voters. Yun yung ginagamit nila.
Yan pala yung ibig nyo sabihin ng extra rice. Matagal na yung extra rice. Lumulobo yan every presidential election.
Kaya nga. And those who stay away suddenly become extra rice. So,
yes. Na pwedeng paglaruan.
Minamanipulate.
Yes.
That's why, di ba, although we say nga na you can only cheat to a certain extent kasi yun yung extra rice.
Yeah. Kailangan nilang palawakin yung extra rice kasi they learned their lesson during President Duterte. Hindi kinapos yung extra rice. Yeah, kinapos yung extra rice nila.
Correct.
Oo.
Diba? Kasi yung lead ni Presidente, laki. Hindi umabot yung extra rice.
Hindi. Kinapos nga yung extra rice.
Hindi umabot dun sa
ano. At I tell you, Attorney Trixie, mga kabayan, i-check nyo yung sudden surge ng voters every presidential election. This time is the biggest.
6 million.
This time is the biggest. Kasi 2004, tumubo yan bigla. 2007, hindi. 2010, tumubo naman bigla. 2013, hindi. 2016, tumubo bigla. 2019, hindi. Test 2022.
Kala ko biggest na yung 2016 kasi
No.
5 million.
This one.
Mas malaki this time. Yes, I've checked.
Ito yung pinakamalaking biglang pagtubo ng botante. But remember, the population did not increase proportionally. O saan sila kumuha niya ng botante?
We even checked. If the population increased proportionally, kasi they would have turned 2019 dapat
2019 to 2022.
So minus 18 years. Kasi yun yung maiko-consider natin na new voters.
18 kasi 18 yung
hindi
voting
rin
age.
nag-surge ng ganun.
Hindi nga, hindi justifiable yung 6 million na biglang pagtubo ng extra rice.
Okay, yun, di ba? So, yun yung, yung extra rice
going back to the other parlor, I'm mindful of the time. Going back to the other parlor, kahit sasabihin nila na wala na si President Aquino.
Thank goodness.
Si Ngoy Aquino. Wala na siya. So, wala na silang poder. Isa na lang natira na appointee, si Rowena Guanzon.
In the
ni Noynoy Aquino. But remember, Smartmatic has been a tool of the liberals not only in the Philippines but in the United States. Remember, ang chairman niyan ay si Lord Malloch Brown. Si Lord Mark Malloch Brown. Siya ay dating ang chairman ng COMELEC, ng Smartmatic. Siya ay dating Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. But before he became Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, he served as strategist ni Cory Aquino in the 1986 elections. Siya yung strategist ni Cory Aquino and publicist. Tapos, naging Deputy Secretary General siya. But in between that time, between 1986 to the 1990s, he also served in a high capacity sa Open Society Institute ni George Soros. As a matter of fact, doon siya tumira sa isang townhouse yata ni George Soros during that time. So, intimate yung, they are closely related ni George Soros. So that when he was appointed chairman, natandaan nyo na disqualify ang COMELEC na disqualify ang Smartmatic in 2015. March and May of 2015 na disqualify ang COMELEC ang Smartmatic twice. Pumunta rito si si Lord Malloch Brown. Although Smartmatic denied na hindi sila nagkita ni Noynoy Aquino, I have it on good authority, Noynoy called his uncle and told him, it was Mark Malloch Brown who called the uncle of Noynoy. Si Mark Malloch Brown told the uncle of Noynoy na I met with the president over lunch just before he left for Singapore from Manila. Pumunta siya ng Manila, he made a pitch for Smartmatic, nag-meet sila ni Noynoy Aquino over lunch, then umalis siya papunta sa Singapore, tinabagan niya si uncle ni Noynoy, at si uncle ni Noynoy sinabi naman sa akin. Hindi, although hearsay yun, kasi hindi naman siya, pero siya ang tinawagan ni Lord Malloch Brown So, Malloch Brown exerted pressure. 1 week after, binaligtad ni Andy Bautista ang dalawang disqualification ni Smartmatic. And the rest is history.
Bagong pasok si Andy na, di ba?
Yes. Pumasok siya sometime in February or March 2015. Kasi yun yung retirement ni dakila kong kalaban na si Brillantes.
Oh my God!
Na di ba, nagbigay siya ng 3 days before he stepped down. Nagbigay siya ng 240 million contract kay Smartmatic na walang bidding. So, inakyat namin sa Korte Suprema na basura yun. Kaya galit na galit si Tatay Sixto sa akin. Kasi ako na naman daw ang nag-udyok para matanggal yung 240 million na contract kay Smartmatic na walang bidding. So you see, and look at the liberals, the Democrats benefited in the U.S. elections where Smartmatic previously, sinabi nila, we have footprints in 50,000 voting machines in the United States. So, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na si BBM ang mandadaya because malalim yung koneksyon ng kabilang parlor doon kay Smartmatic.
Parang mag-iisip talaga rin ako, bakit natin papaimbestiga sa NBI Sila ngayon hindi makahanap kay Andy Bautista
Isa pa yun. Oo.
Ilang years na nila pinapangako? 3 na.
3 taon na ba? Kailan ba natanggal si Andy? 2017.
Ano na ngayon?
2017. 2017 kasi natanggal na siya 2018 when I testified in the Senate. So wala na siya doon.
Kailan
2017, 5 years.
Ni Tisha yung hindi, pero yun, after nilabas ni Tisha, nag-file siya ng, Tisha Bautista is the wife of Andy Bautista.
It's 2017.
She filed a case in the NBI where it died. Di ba? I actually, even in 2019 and 2020, in 2016, 2017. In 2018, I followed up. So, 2018 pa pala. So, in 2018, I followed up with the deputy director of the NBI. Nagtawag siya. Tinawagan yung agent. Attorney, hintay lang daw ng konti, hindi pa tapos yung ng ebidensya on the other cases. Kompleto na daw yung ibang cases. So, ang tanong ko, why aren't you filing the cases that are complete in evidence already? Para sabay-sabay na. 2018 yun.
4 years ago.
4 years
kasi
na.
3 years and a half.
5 years na nga yung natutulog yung kaso sa NBI.
At least yung sa 2017, 2018, sige sabihin natin 2018, more than 3 years.
Kasi kinumit ko kay Ma'am Tisha yan, we'll see what we can do. And I remember, I have a friend who's a government official. I was sitting in his office when the deputy director came by. Tapos sabi, may tatanong sa'yo si Attorney
Trixie.
So, he had no choice. So, nagtawag siya right in front of me 4 years ago.
Kaya nga, ang sabi ko kahit si bangling PNP, isama na natin.
Dapat na. Tama yan.
Anti-cybercrime pala.
Last question for you. If offered the position of COMELEC commissioner, will you accept?
I would love to fight them in their own turf.
Yes.
Yeah, I would really love to fight them in their own turf.
We should start a campaign.
Thank you, Attorney Trixie.
Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat for sa pagsubaybay po sa Tambayan.
Yes. Ang Tambayan, ang susunod na programa In the Heart of Business, kasama si Mama Rupa Hatisarni and Sir Lito Gagni. May karambola po tayo bukas, 8 to 10 ng umaga. Ako po si Trixie Cruz Angeles.
Tambayan sa DWIZ.